done throughout the year. A lot of hours have been put into this. And then also we want to, connect with all of you guys, catch up with you, whether you're like an alumni, faculty, students, sponsor. Staying in touch is very important to us, so we're glad to do that today. To do all that today, we do want to kind of kick things off with an introduction of our team. That'll be this presentation right here. And then we'll move on down to the pool deck for the demo. That'll be a bit more exciting. And then we'll wrap things up with a little kind of meet the team period. You can chat with us, see what's been going on. All right, so for those of you who don't know, we are the Autonomous Robotic Vehicle Project based out of the University of Alberta. We focus kind of on developing both technologies and student skills in the areas of robotics and autonomous systems. To do that, we kind of have a 4 sub-team structure. We break up our 50 plus member team between mechanical teams, software teams, electrical teams, and a business team. That kind of covers everything. And then all those teams are fully self-managed by us, top to bottom. One thing that's super near and dear to our hearts, kind of our mission, is what we call our triple mandate. This is kind of our framework for making decisions as a team, and it makes sure we're keeping, number one, student learning and student skill building at the top of our list in terms of priorities. Also building a social community where people can have fun. And then lastly, trying to, connect people to industry, give them some career opportunities through the team as well. Our North Star, I suppose you could call it, as a team is kind of this competition we go to in California called RoboSub that happens annually. And it's kind of an international competition where 60 teams from around the world gather and put their robots up against each other in this underwater obstacle course. There you'll see stuff like autonomous navigation, localizing with sonar, also, picking up objects with the claw, moving them to designated areas. So it's a lot of fun, oftentimes very difficult interdisciplinary challenges. So we really often do need all hands on deck. And then there are also some cool partners that RoboNation, the organizers, kind of work with to put on this event, like SpaceX and NVIDIA. So we get to chat up them as well. It's always pretty cool. In terms of what we've kind of done in these past few years, last year was a big year for us in terms of scope. We developed 2 new AUVs from the ground up, AUV being autonomous underwater vehicle. And those kind of ended up having task capabilities that we've never kind of touched before. Like both of those submarines could kind of talk to each other using signals underwater. That was new to us. We also got pretty far on the claw task, manipulating objects. So that's something we're very proud of. Another big thing that was dear to our hearts is cutting our hardware downtime in half as compared to our old platform. Just more reliable in general. You're not going down in pool tests. And then on the competition side of things, we did end up placing decently well last year in RoboSub. We got 9th place overall in the autonomy challenge, and then 5th place overall for design deliverables, everything kind of surrounding that. Written submissions, I guess you could say. So now that you guys have an idea of what we kind of accomplished as a team, I thought I'd take some time to talk about something that I thought was pretty key to that and something that's pretty unique about our team. And that's kind of maintaining a place worth coming back to. As I'm sure a lot of you know, our degrees can be pretty grueling and you're not really trying to do more work unless you're having fun with it. So that's what I kind of want to talk about here. It's an idea that came to me at 2 a.m. last night when I was putting together these slides. I was scrolling through our Google Drive and I ended up seeing a lot of photos over the past 2-3 years and noticing that, first of all, these guys look pretty young. It seems like a three years of engineering can do a lot to you, visually speaking. But drawing parallels from that as well, I noticed that we didn't really know anything back then. We couldn't tell you the first thing about a pressure test or how to do one. couldn't run a mission, didn't even know how to charge batteries. So now looking kind of at the lineup and seeing where we're at is pretty weird. As we got into the club, kind of noticed ourselves coming back to the clubs room more and more often. That kind of became the default place. One instance for me, it was like I was done with my finals one semester, and you know that feeling when you're done all those exams and you're antsy, you don't know what to do with yourself, your purpose in life is gone, you don't have anything to study. So in that case, you kind of just go to the clubs room. Maybe you have a lab report due at midnight that night. Another case where you could kind of just go to the clubs room to forget about it. You know, Evan and I have done that a few times. So it kind of just became a place where you can go. There's always a project going on. There's always something to learn. There's always someone to talk to, and it's a very kind of warm environment. There you can see it's kind of popular doing that. So I'll get to this in a second, but as we kept coming back over and over again, we noticed some changes going on, at least I did. One instance I'll bring up here is my project co-lead, Aryan. I ran this by him, so I'm free to tell this story, but when he first joined the team like 3 years ago, he was one who was very quick to speak his mind, you know? And it was very charming as a friend, but apparently that's not the most optimal thing for a team kind of relationship dynamic. So this, which you see right here, was pretty shocking to me. Now he's kind of spearheading the think before you speak kind of sentiment on our team. This is our exec meeting notes, and this is an image posted by Aryan. Before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates, which I thought was pretty inspirational. Really developed as a person. But I can't just clown on Aryan. I had my own moments as well. These more technical. Back in the day when we were designing our new robot, what would have been, instead of the robot you're going to see here, we were really attached to the idea of a square pressure vessel. And that was going to be 10 times as expensive, but we just really wanted to do it. Maybe some of you were at our preliminary design review back in the day, remember how that went. But turns out even AI overview knows this, that that's not the most optimal way to go about things. A cylinder is typically a better shape. So another instance of just learning just by being in proximity to all this stuff going on. And it's not just Aryan and I, this kind of occurred throughout the whole team. But there were still some road bumps along the way. I don't know if you folks remember RoboSub 2024. For those of you who don't, we had this autonomous underwater vehicle named Arctos, and it had a little habit of leaking. So we got to our finals run in RoboSub 2024. We were feeling good, thought we were going to take it, and then it kind of flooded, which was awkward at the time. But you know, life goes on. We stuck together as a team, and moving into RoboSub 2025, we're feeling super good. You know, we had built a new robot. It didn't leak. Super good hardware. You know, it didn't have much downtime, no issues. But it turns out we bit more than we could chew in terms of scope, and that left us with not much testing time with the new robot before competition. And ultimately, we didn't catch a sensor issue that kind of cost us that one as well. So 2 years of pain, kind of, but at the same time, one takeaway, at least I had from this, is that nobody was really pointing fingers throughout, even though that's something you'd expect in like a moment like this. Everybody kind of like solemnly sat through it together, which was pretty cool to see. You could see a little circle we were having on the grass there in RoboSub 2025. Had to talk about our emotions to get over that one. It's rough. But obviously we had to make some adjustments regardless, and I think we were able to make those adjustments because we were more inclined to say, how can we fix this as a team rather than who do we blame? And that kind of creates an environment where you're more comfortable making mistakes and learning from them. This year, that led to kind of optimizing our hardware development around testing time. Big thing there was setting a design freeze for ourselves. So after that point, our software team could test with a static platform. That was super huge, and that design freeze just happened in May, so we're done. We actually hit it, which was surprising to me. And then another thing that's super important is seriously thinking about failure. You don't want to see these failure modes pop up when you're in the semifinals run. So trying to get ahead of them, test them, maybe even inject fault. That's something we've been doing. And then the last thing that's super important is not being satisfied with it worked once. That does seem like step zero now that we're a bit more mature. Definitely have to get some repeatability going to have any sort of confidence in your performance. Turns out. But I could talk about design freezes all day. I could talk about test campaigns. But at the end of the day, I do really think it's that foundation of building a place where people want to show up week to week, month to month, year to year, consistently, so that learning actually can happen. And I do think, correct me if I'm wrong, that ARVP is kind of that place now. We are in that place. So I'm very happy about that. And luckily, because of that, we have outputted some pretty cool robots. This is Kenai's first time being shown at a community showcase. Didn't have it ready in time last year. But that's our main robot now. Took a lot of those lessons from Arctos, the robot from RoboSub 2024, and packaged them up into that. Has all the subsystems on it, so it could do any task on the course. And then in addition to that, we have our secondary kind of helper robot, Coda. That primarily exists for the inter-sub communication task, a task where the two robots send signals to each other underwater. But in the future, we would like to maybe, split up some tasks, divide the operational risk a little bit during our runs. To dive into Kenai a bit more, the main one, a lot of those lessons were taken from Arctos once again. That pushed us in a direction where we really wanted to simplify everything mechanically. On the whole side of things, we did end up with a cylinder, 2 access points, not a super easy shape to make leap, which was good for us. And then we also had a sheet metal frame around the outside, pretty simple. You can mount all your subsystems on that. On the hardware side as well, we really tried to consolidate a lot of those boards that we had laying around that didn't really have to be together, and also standardize a lot of those electrical interfaces so that we don't have loose connector problems. So those were something. And now I'll pass it off to the sub-team leads. They'll tell you a little bit about what their team does and some of the projects they got going on. Hey, everyone.
Hey everyone, my name is Sean. I'm one of the electrical co-leads for this year. And yeah, I just kind of like to take you guys through what we've been up to and what some of our goals for the year were. So just kind of off the bat, the electrical team, if you're not familiar with what we do, we're in charge of all the hardware and all the electronics inside of the robot. Each year we try and build some new systems as well as improve the existing systems and try our best to get everything working. So this year we kind of set out with a couple different goals based on our experience throughout our time in the club. And our first goal was really to bring a lot more members, get a lot more members involved in different projects and create a lot more mentorship and learning opportunities for them. As someone who's been in the club for a while, I definitely saw how useful and how valuable this could be. And we also had a very high number of new super excited members join the team. So there's just a great opportunity to do that. So some of the ways we did that is we expanded our onboarding project. We added new phases to make it a bit more complicated. So there's a lot more to do there. We also started having weekly team meetings as well as help sessions or office hours as we called them, so that anyone with questions could get all the support they need whenever, especially if they couldn't make it to work sessions. So I think that kind of created, like Daniel said, a more sense of a community. So that was very successful. And then we also had a lot of like cool little research and quality of life projects, which a ton of different students worked on, and we were able to like deliver a lot of projects a bit quicker and get people to have like those hands-on and like testing skills faster. So that was pretty cool. One of my favorite examples of that is the smart battery pods project we worked on this year, which once we get in the robot, we'll display on the battery pods like the voltage and all the information we need about the battery, so it's just easier to work with them. We don't have to go like probe it with a multimeter. So like little quality of life changes like that are both a great project and just like helpful for us as well. And then kind of our other mandate was, as someone who's been in the club for 3 years now, a lot of times when we're at pool tests, you know, the thing that's stopping us from being able to test is typically been something in electrical goes wrong, some connector pops out, there's some kind of hardware failure. So it's really important for us to try and mitigate that as best as possible. And that kind of informed a lot of the major projects we did this year, which I'll get into in the next slide. But so far, we've been very successful. I think we've really hit that goal, so I'm very proud of that. Yeah, so some of our core systems from this year are our new battery management system. So this board up here, kind of going off what Daniel said before, with the new system, this has a lot cleaner power paths and much less connectors, as well as every connector is really placed intentionally, so it'll fit and integrate into the system in a very thoughtful way. And that's allowed us to have basically 0 pool test failures with Kenai since we've implemented the system. And then on the side of Coda, our mini robot, previously we were using an off-the-shelf solution, our flight controller, and we swapped that out for a custom PCB so we can centralize our power and communication all into one board. And similarly, we've had very strong results with that. If you guys are interested in seeing either of these boards, as well as all the other boards that were worked on, they'll be at the booth. So yeah, come check them out.
So my name's Adam. I'm one of the Mechie co-leads this year. And a bit about what the Mechie team does is we do the pressure test, make sure the robot actually seals so it doesn't leak or flood. We do the year-over-year upgrades for the robots, for all the different obstacles that RoboSub releases each year, the different tasks. And then at pool tests, we are in charge of doing the actual obstacles, making sure everything's ready, and having the robot actually ready for software so that they can get as much time as possible. Some of the big things that we did this year are the optimizations for Kenai. So last year we had a stable platform. We didn't have to make too many changes. We didn't want to change everything for software, so they had to retune everything. We wanted to keep it fairly similar. So we did a lot of optimization quality of life, such as some smaller ones, like some TPU feet to protect the pool, some new electronic trays for the electrical team so that they can have an easier time routing and debugging things. And then also minimizing downtime. We tried to do a lot of our testing on land or in the tub instead of at pool tests, so that software can get as much time as possible testing instead of wasting time trying to debug some screw that's missing or something. And then the other main thing we've done are upgrades on Coda. We have done a lot for the internals. It's completely different than last year. It allows, last year was kind of a rat's nest. It did not look great. So this year it's nicely laid out, and it allows, we've already had, like, it's already been much easier to debug some of our stuff that hasn't been working. And then because we made so many upgrades, there's been a lot of little projects that have popped up. So it's been a great opportunity for some of our newer members to try SolidWorks, learn about what we do, how to do everything in a bit less of an intense project than some of the ones that I'll talk about now. So our bigger projects that I'm going to focus on are our claw, our hydroshell, and our torpedo. Starting with the claw, it's completely different than previous years. This year it is a arm that lowers down away from the robot. The reason we want it further away from the robot is because if we have some of our sensors further away from the table when we're doing the claw task, it gives us a bit more accuracy, so we don't have to worry about drift in our DVL. And then also the thrusters blowing down into obstacles tends to move them around a bit. So the higher up we can be away from that, the less they'll have a chance to move. It just uses 2 servos and a belt to open and close a gripper. And then we have the gripper modular because we wanted to have basically all of the design for that done before RoboSub releases the obstacles, because they tend to release them quite late. They were only confirmed a couple of weeks ago. So now all we have to do is change the gripper design, and then we can actually get to testing it. And then our second project that we've spent a lot of time on is the hydroshell for Coda. So this is a picture from the CAD. If you want to see the almost finished version, it will be at our booth later. I'm happy to talk about it. But it is ASA, like 3D printed ASA, and then it's sealed using an acetone vapor chamber. So this also replaces our buoyancy pods. It makes Coda look a lot cleaner instead of just PVC pipes tied to the side of it. And it also allows for better cable management because we can tuck it inside of the shell so that we don't have to worry about it and don't have to see it. And that's why it's fairly new, so that's why all the photos on here are not updated. And then the third project that we've also spent a lot of time on is our optimizations for torpedoes. So we did last year, and actually for the previous years, the design of the torpedoes was based off of not much. It was just kind of a shape. This year we did CFD on the original one and the new optimized one to actually see if the changes we were making had an effect, and they did. We've also changed our manufacturing from 3D printed, like FDM 3D printing to resin 3D printing, which just allows for greater consistency, so each torpedo isn't slightly different. Now they're all the exact same. And the optimizations that we've had, we've already seen increases of about 3 times for the distance it can go straight. So on the lower end now, it can go for about 2 meters perfectly straight. And the requirement for RoboSub is a foot. So, but I think we can still get it a tiny bit better. Yeah, I think that's it for me. I'll hand it off to Jonathan.
Hello, everyone. Some of you know me. I'm Jonathan. I'm one of the software co-leads for ARVP. My other software co-lead is currently working very hard to get the demo up and running. So hopefully that goes well. But I'm just going to tell you some of the duties that the software team is currently in charge of and the projects that we're currently working on. So one of the main duties we have is control. And that's essentially when the robot has a position or velocity goal, how does it achieve that? And what we're doing for that currently is called a PID controller, and it works relatively well, but we're looking to switch that to a machine learning based approach for more accuracy. Another thing we do is vision that can be seen right there. So that's essentially taking frames from our camera and outputting boxes that outline where they are in the image. And then these boxes get sent to our mapper, which actually maps them in the environment based on where the robot is. And we're making some upgrades to that. I'll talk about that on the next slide. Another thing we do is simulation. So you can see here, this is our simulator, and this essentially saves us time because we can't always test in the pool. So we want to test anything that we can in the simulator because it makes it so that when we test at the pool, it's going to be a lot cleaner. One of the biggest things we do is mission writing and planning right here. So all our tasks we structure as a series of decisions, and then it becomes one big tree, kind of like you see there. And essentially, when you get data, you can decide how to act on it based on, if statements kind of thing. And this is how we structure all our tasks. So that's kind of the main duties that we do. And some of the things we've been working on this year are the slalom task. So essentially this task it has 3 sets of poles here, and depending whether we enter the gate on the left or right side, you go left or right side for slalom, and you have to make it through all 3 of those poles there. Our approach in 2025 was okay, but it was a bit inflexible, so we've been working on that this year. A few different members have had different approaches, and after figuring those out and fixing the sensor issues that we had last year, it's working very reliably. You should all be able to see that at the demo that we'll do after this presentation. And we've also been refining the claw task. So it's actually very hard to pick up objects autonomously, and we had to modify this software to work with the new claw, and it had the benefit of not being so close to the table so that it doesn't blow the items off the table. And another thing that we've been working on for the claw task was our vision model. We're using something called feature matching now, and that essentially draws a really detailed outline of the object instead of just a box, which makes it easier for the robot to kind of orient around the object and pick it up more easily. And once we get that integrated, it's already showing a lot of promise, and it should make the claw task a lot more accurate. But that's kind of what we're working on right now. That's a bit about it for me, so I'll pass it over to Tori.
Hello, I'm Tori. I'm the business lead. I'm about to be a third-year design student. So for the business team, we work on financing, procurement, and getting funding so every sub-team has exactly what they need to function. Then for media marketing, we like to post on social media, and we also post a newsletter every month so people know who we are and what we're up to. We also recruit at the beginning of each semester. So this year we had a really great like turnout. We have lots of new faces, and that was really awesome to see. Otherwise, for our events, we like to reach out to youth so they learn and get inspired by robotics. So some of our projects this year included the new website. So last year's website was, there was quite a few bugs. It was kind of difficult to maintain. So we decided to start new. It was completely fresh. So we have lots of new content and a new design. So, and adding on to that, for new designs, we also have new banners. There's this one, and then the one you might have seen when you came in. And then also new trifolds for each sub-team, and you'll see that on the board. Yeah. So we also have the privilege of working with sponsors. So we're working with ISS Mine Safety and making new t-shirts for RoboSub this year. We're really excited to see those. And then a really fun project is working on the blind boxes. So we made blind boxes, they contain keychains. So we paired up with the Meki team, and they made these miniature versions of our robots. So it's really fun. There's a couple other items in there too. And we designed the box ourselves. It was a really fun project. It took quite a few of us, and it was really fun. We also have tote bags. So those have K9 code on them, like all over. You can see them there. But if you want to get either of these on your tables, you'll have QR codes for donation. So if you donate $10, then you can pick either a blind box or a tote bag. Or if you donate $20 or more, you can get one of each.
Thank you, guys. Sean promptly informed me that I did not introduce myself, so I will do that before we get back into things. I'm Daniel. I'm one of the project co-leads here at ARVP. But yeah, with those projects kind of fleshed out, the year still isn't over. We still got a little bit to do. Big thing is, as usual, upholding our triple mandate, which we did mention. That means even while people are gone on co-op, we still want to do frequent club socials, get everyone together. We also want to make sure we're keeping member learning, member skill building at the top of our priority list. And then also, once again, connecting our members to industry, trying to help them out in their careers as well. Testing as well, which I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing by now, but that is also pretty essential this year. We want to string together full RoboSub runs and make sure we're getting successful, repeatable results on those, which we now can do kind of post-design freeze now that we have a stable system that's unchanging. And then we want to work on some of those new RoboSub tasks that were released this year, like the dropper task, which was kind of all jumbled up, got to figure that one out. And then the objects for the claw now are new as well. Got to dial that in. So to make that all happen, we do get to the fundraiser portion of all of this. We are asking for your help here. As you can imagine, pool tests are kind of the main facilitator of a multitude of things, one of which being member learning. That's where anybody who does a design gets their stuff tested across all teams. And also, it's the single most important thing at this point for us for our competition performance, because software is the one thing left to dial really this year. And it really does emulate that competition-like setting. So I put together a little equation for you guys here, actually. We have 74 hours total left of pool testing this year, 16 people at each pool test, and according to my calculations, that is 1,184 hours of learning, which is a lot of learning. And jokes aside, a lot of people are going to be spending time at these pool tests. A lot of people are going to be learning, even if you can't measure it in a unit like hours of learning. So we are asking for $4.6 thousand this year, and we hope to get that from this to kind of keep our Kinsman license going and to book the remainder of those pool tests. With all that out of the way, we do want to thank you guys again. To the alumni in the room, We do stand on the shoulders of giants, you could say. You guys are kind of the reason we can do this whole thing since '96. And then any faculty or mentors in the room, you guys are kind of our rock. Support us. Thank you guys. And finally, any sponsors in the room, you guys kind of take the hours we put into this and really amplify the results, magnify the output. So thank you guys all. If you are interested in donating, we will have QR codes out. I believe they're out on the table. Also on the screen here, we'll have them up there. And then if you're interested in sponsoring us at all, contact at arvp.org is always open, and then you could talk to any one of us as well. Appreciate it. Anything to add? There is another QR code if you are looking to give us any advice. Maybe you're interested in a mentorship kind of situation. We definitely need people who know what they're talking about, so feel free to fill that one in. Thank you guys. We'll catch you downstairs for the demo. Yeah, we'll lead you down to the bleachers. Thank you.
briefly. It is banked right now, but we're in the process of being remote. So, right? It's like, pretty quick. So, yeah. About the last, time after all, we're great. Wanted to back to go next week, and then after that. I mean, well, I was good. Yeah. And then I don't really do R&D projects, so I'm working on like this thing for the one. Which is actually taking a lot of time. It's kind of stuff. What do you have? How much? Well, you all this stuff, we're glad not much. Yeah. I'm sensitive to that book. Getting busy, so it's.
Sound check.
Hello, everyone. We'll be starting the technical demo in about 5 minutes. So if you're still up in the bleachers, or up in the stands, maybe make your way down to the bleachers. And yeah, thanks. All right, guys, we're going to be getting started in a couple minutes here. We're just letting our swimmers cool off for a second before we get going. Thank you guys for being patient. All right, everyone. Thank you again for coming to the ARVP 2026 showcase. We're going to be getting started right now with the technical demo. We've got a pretty exciting run for you guys, so yeah, thank you again. All right. So we're going to be starting with the coin flip and going over to the game task. All right, and going through gate with no problem, we're going up to slalom, which we were talking about before in the presentation. This is one of the newer tasks that RoboSub introduced last year, and yeah, it's been pretty interesting to look at. And it's rolling with style points, so we did the whole barrel roll. All right, and now we're actually coming to the slalom task. There's a little miscommunication on my end. By the way, if anyone donated over $10, you can make your way over to the business team booth. There's blind boxes or a tote bag you can grab. Just a little reminder. They're pretty exciting, so if you want to go grab one of those, make sure you go check that out. All right, here we go. All right, we made it past the first post, going through. And second post now as well. All right. All right, and it looks like we made our way to the third post. We completed this long task as well. That's very exciting. Let's keep going. All right. Next up, we're moving over to the bin task. So we're going to drop 2 droppers into the bin task. On the shark side. It's searching for the shark, and the bin as well. Alright, and it's detected it is moving down. All right, we got 1 in, and we got 2. Nice. All right, and now we're moving over to the torpedo banner. All right, we're moving over to the waypoint in front of the torpedo gate. Okay, and we've detected the torpedo gate. Okay, we're gonna go for the shark first. All right, and we got 1 through. We're gonna go for the next. Thank you, thank you. All right, very, very close miss. Nearly got it. Very good try. Now we're moving over to the octagon task where Kenai is going to try and surface to complete the run. All right, and resurfacing. Looks like. All right, yeah, it's currently trying to find the bins attached to the table below the octagon. All right, that's it for that run. We're gonna give it another go. Just had a couple issues with finding the table. All right. All right, we're gonna try another run right here. We're gonna do it again all untethered, and yeah. So what that means is we're gonna completely disconnect it from the computer, so it's gonna be entirely autonomous. Kind of basically exactly what we would do at the actual RoboSub competition. To clarify why autonomous, it is always autonomous, but when it's untethered, it has no connection at all to any of the computers, so we can't last minute kill it or anything like that. All right, and we're getting back in, getting the robot set up for the next run. They're just reloading the torpedoes over there. We have a little plunger we push into the mechanism to get the torpedoes back in, and we should be back up and running in a couple minutes here. All right. We're gonna once again spin the robot, and what we're doing there is the coin flip task. So we're starting the robot at a random orientation, which kind of just lets us show at comp that the robot's actually like capable of getting its waypoint in the pool. And after we do that, we're gonna pull out the tether, and it's gonna start the whole mesh, the whole course. All right, and we're spinning. All right, here we go. We're gonna go back again for the gate, and once again try and get those style points through the barrel roll. All right, it's detected the gate, it's moving up. All right, and we're going through the gate. Okay. And we're getting that barrel roll in for style points. Nice, nice, nice. So after this, it's going to go up to the slalom task, which, if you are not familiar before, maybe I didn't do the best job explaining. This is a mesh of 9 different buoys in the water that the robot has to navigate through, and each layer of them is offset slightly to make it a bit more difficult. And how we're going to approach it, because we didn't throw on the right side, we're going to hug the right side of the red different buoys. Yeah, as you said, you have to go through the same side of the slalom as we went through of the gate. Alright, and it's aligned with the slalom and going forward. Alright, so we made it past the first post. We're aligning again with the next one. The second post as well. Aligning with the third. All right, and we're going through the third post. All right, and we clear through the slalom task. Alright, and next up, we're going over to the bin to do the dropper task. Worked very well last time, so hopefully we get that again. So, Kina is going to go over and it's hopefully going to detect it. It looks like it's working. Alright, we've detected the bin. Alright, we're going down. And alright, we got one in. Thank you, thank you. All right, and we got the second. Can we get another round of applause? Amazing. All right, next up, we're going to make it over to the torpedo gate. All right, and we're moving over to align with the torpedo gate. All right, it looks like we're aligned. All right, and we got one through. Thank you. Let's do it. Let's do it. Can we get another round of applause? There we go. There we go. All right, now we're going to move back over to the octagon to try and surface to complete the RoboSub run. All right, and it looks like we found the table. All right, and we have just surfaced in the octagon task. Can I get a big round of applause? Thank you so much. So that concludes the technical demonstration side of the showcase. We have a bunch of our team members over at all the booths over there. They're all super excited to talk to you. I also have our software lead here who has some words he wants to say about this run.
Just to put it in perspective, like what we kind of did, this is almost a complete RoboSub run. So RoboSub in 2025 was all of these tasks excluding the claw task. That was the only task that we did not do autonomously today. So this is like miles above what the performance we had last year. Last year we were struggling with our IMU to even get past the slalom task. So I'm really, really happy to see all the hands that came together to make this possible. It goes across every sub-team, every person, all the hours that were put in, all the time that went towards this. This is by far, if we had the same success rate last year, at the very least top 5, probably even second, third place. So I really want to thank especially a lot of the teammates here that really put in hard work, that really put in those long hours, because it takes a lot of work to make stuff like this happen. So I just want to say I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate all of you for coming out and being able to see all the hard work that we put in, all the long hours, and how it pays off. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, once again, as you said, thank you all so much for coming out. I'd like to give a big thank you to everyone on the team who helped organize this event. It's been really amazing. And one final reminder, if you did donate $10 or above, there is some free merch you can get over at the business booth, so make sure you go grab that. And yeah, have fun. Thank you. We're also going to be pulling Kenai out of the water, so if you want to take a more up-close look at the robot, it should be over on this table.